Good morning, good afternoon, my dear friends, wherever you are in this world. This is Yahweh Kingdom Ministry, and today we're going to talk about a very important subject. What is the word spoken about in a prologue of Gospel of John? More than 2.6 billion people around the globe claim to be Christians. Perhaps you're one of them. Most belong to churches that teach that the first 14 opening verses of Gospel of John, commonly known as prologue, are definite proof that Yeshua Messiah pre-existed with the Father in heaven as long ago as the creation of the earth. Basis to this belief is the term logos, a Greek word translated word and understood by nearly all professing Christians as referring to Yeshua Messiah. Is there any basis for equating Yeshua Messiah and the Logos? Was John here teaching the pre-existence for Yeshua Messiah? What is there in Scripture to support the claim that Yeshua Messiah was the Logos? Verses 1 to 3 of John's prologue read the following. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. All things were made through him, and without him nothing was made that was made. With the idea firmly fixed in their mind that Yeshua Messiah is the Logos, theologians see in these verses the pre-existent Yeshua Messiah assisting his Father in the creation of all things. In the first verse, it was the Logos that was with God. Hence, him of verse 3 is the Logos. But have we any reason for assuming that the Logos and the him are Yeshua Messiah? What is Logos? Most modern-day theologians claim Logos is Yeshua Messiah, but there's no biblical scriptural proof of that. So what is the answer to this vital question? Is the Greek word Logos Yeshua Messiah? As with most things in life, my dear friends, the truth is hidden in a plain sight. If you go to BibleHub.com and pull up the interlinear translation of John 1:1, King James Version, you'll read, in the beginning was the Word, with a capital W, and the Word was with God, and God was the Word, which contains both English and Greek translations. You'll notice the incorrect capitalization of word logos in most modern translations, which is misleading people into believing that the Word is a second person. According to Sir Anthony Buzzard, who is a biblical scholar, Unitarian Christian theologian, and author and professor of the faculty at the Atlanta Bible College, overlooking the plain account of the origin of the Son in history, he said, the churches made an appeal to the opening verses of John. They managed there to contradict the witness of Matthew and Luke, which clearly have a record of our Lord Yeshua Messiah being born as a human being in Bethlehem without any pre-existence. And there's no other Bible account that indicates where Yeshua Messiah was born, and present the reader apparently with a second eternal person alongside the Father, which of course makes two gods. This fatal move was achieved by first putting incorrectly a capital letter on the word Logos, making it look like a second person word. Having altered the meaning of word, the next move was to refer to word not as it, but as him. And that's exactly what they did. Notice that in other verses of Gospel of John, like John 17:17, the word Logos was never capitalized. Capitalization of word Logos in John 1:1 was done intentionally to persuade the people that this word Logos is Yeshua Messiah, second person of unbiblical Trinity doctrine not found in the Bible. If you look carefully enough into John 1:1, interlinear translation again, you'll notice that Greek word logos refers to Strong's Greek Concordance 3056. Let's look into Greek Concordance 3056 for the meaning of the word logos. Strong's Greek Concordance is one of the well-known dictionaries that explain the meaning of the word. Let's have a look. Greek word logos in Concordance 3056 is defined as a word as embodying an idea, statement, or speech. It simply means an idea, thought, or speech. Notice, nowhere does it say that it is a person, let alone Yeshua Messiah. The word logos, being Yeshua Messiah, is all man-made Greek philosophy in conspiration with the Catholic Church. So the word logos is simply Elohim Yahweh's thoughts or spoken word personified as Yahweh. Do you recall Sir Anthony Buzzard said that churches manage there to contradict the witness of Matthew and Luke and present the reader apparently with a second eternal person alongside the Father, which of course makes two gods. This fatal move was achieved by first putting incorrectly a capital letter on word logos, making it look like a second person word. Having altered the meaning of word, the next move was to refer to the word not as it, but as him. And that is exactly what they did in John 1, verses 2, 3, and 4, as we are soon to find out. My dear friends, please also notice that in John 1:1, interlinear translation, the translation correctly points out that God was the Word, Theos and all logos, and not Word was the God, logos and Theos. It shows simply that the word here is simply Elohim Yahweh's spoken word, Yahweh himself, and not Yeshua Messiah. Next, my dear friends, let's take a look at John 1, verse 2, interlinear translation of King James Version. It reads, "He was in the beginning with God." The wrong word "he" has been added to this translation, making us believe that he is a second person of Trinity. If the he were second person Yeshua, who was also Elohim, who is also with Elohim, that would make two Elohims side by side and not one Elohim. Just like Sir Anthony Buzzard had said, this or it was changed to him. Notice, Greek word hutos, this refers to Strong's Greek Concordance 3778. Let's take a look at how Concordance 3778 defines the Greek word hutos for us. My dear friends, the Strong's Concordance Greek 3778 defines hutos as this, and secondary meaning is it. Now let's look at the interlinear translation of John 1:3, King James Version, which reads, "All things through him came into being, and without him came into being not even one thing that has come into the being." Again, did you notice the Greek word hutos was changed to him, and it is also capitalized? Due to this intentional dishonesty, most Christians believe that Elohim Yahweh created things through Yeshua Messiah, and Yeshua Messiah was the actual creator, a thing not found in the Bibles. Dear viewers, the same change was made to the interlinear translation of John 1, verse 4, King James Version, which reads, In him life was, and the life was the light. Again, did you notice the Greek word auto was changed to him? And it is also capitalized. However, many other translations translate it as it and not him. The Greek word auto refers to Strong's Greek Concordance 846. Let's look at the Strong's Greek Concordance 846 to truly understand the meaning of the word auto. My dear friends, you're looking at Strong's Greek Concordance 846 for the word auto, which defines it as self-empathetic to he, she, or it, used for the third person pronoun, or third definition of it is the same. The phrase the same. To summarize, John 1:1, changing logos to him. John 1 verse 2, changing Greek word hutos to he. John 1 verse 3, changing Greek word auto to him. And John 1 verse 4, changing Greek word auto to him. All was accomplished after 1611, year 1611. Let us look at the three Bible translations prior to 1611 to see how they were translated by the Bible scholars of that time. The first one is from William Tyndale. He was murdered for translating the Bible. He was a very popular Bible scholar of that time. It's year 1534 translation, and it reads, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The same was in the beginning with God. All things were made by it, and without it was made nothing that was made. In it was life, and the life was the light of men, and the light shined in the darkness, but the darkness comprehended not." So this was translated in 1534. Remember, before year 1611. So did you notice in Tyndale's translation, word is never capitalized. Instead of he, in John 1:2, he translated it to the same. Furthermore, notice verses 3 and 4 render the Greek word auto to it and not him. The second translation is from Matthew's Bible, year 1537, and it reads, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The same was in the beginning with God. All things were made by it, and without it was made nothing that was made. In it was life, and the life was the light of men, and the light shined in the darkness, but the darkness comprehended not." This is Matthew's Bible, London, year 1537. My dear friends, did you notice in Matthew's translation, word is never capitalized in John 1:1? Instead of he, in John 1:2, he translated it to the same. Not he, but the same. Furthermore, notice verses 3 and 4 render the Greek word auto to it and not him. The third translation is from William Whittingham's Bible, year 1557, prior to year 1611, when the Bibles were changed. "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and that Word was God. The same was in the beginning with God. All things were made by it, and without it was made nothing that was made. In it was life, and the life was the light of men. And the light shined in darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not. William Whittingham, year 1557. Notice it says in a translation, confirmed diligently with Greek and best approved translation. Did you notice in Whittingham's translation, word is never capitalized? Instead of he, in John 1:2, he translated it to the same, the phrase the same. Furthermore, notice verses 3 and 4 render the Greek word hodo to it and not him. The point of this evidence is that these men were all distinguished Bible scholars who were really well versed in Greek and Latin, and they cannot be fooled easily. They took diligence to translate John 1 verses 1 through 4 for us to understand that they have nothing to do with Yeshua Messiah or second person of Trinity. The word logos is simply Yahweh's thoughts and spoken word that comes out of his mouth, personified as Yahweh himself. I'm putting a link if you're interested to Sir Anthony's John 1 in 50 plus English translations prior to year 1611. My dear friends, it is an eye-opening truth to read and understand how Bible was changed by Satan to deceive people on who Elohim Yahweh is and who Yeshua Messiah is. As we have seen so far, most Christianity is using forged Bible translations, saying he or him instead of it, which are deceiving millions of people into believing that the word of Yahweh is he and second person Yeshua Messiah. In addition, since John 1:1c goes on to say, and the word was God, and believing that the word is Yeshua Messiah, most Christianity wrongly believe that Yeshua Messiah is Elohim. The problem is, most sincere Christians are not aware how they're reading forged Bible translations saying he, meaning Yeshua Messiah, when the correct word says it, meaning Elohim's word, his spoken command and word from Elohim's mouth, as we read in Psalm 33:6. By the word of the Yahweh, the heavens were made, and all the host of them by the breath of his mouth. We clearly see in Psalm 33:6 that the word comes by Yahweh's word, by the breath of Yahweh's mouth. There's no second person here, but Yahweh Elohim, Father alone. Please note, there's not a single verse in the Old Testament saying word is a second person, or by John say that the word is a separate second person, or is the Son at this stage. Hence, this is why we read John saying, and the word was God in John 1:1c. Yahweh's word and the breath of Yahweh's mouth. It's all Yahweh speaking, and symbolically his words are coming out of his mouth. That's Yahweh himself. It's called Hebrew personification. Dear friends, there's only one person who is called Yahweh, and he is Elohim, the Father alone. No one else but him. He is the Father alone. He's the only Elohim by himself. There's no other Elohim. He is Father alone. Think about it for a second. Read Isaiah 45:5 and meditate on it. It says, I am the Yahweh, and there is none else. There is no Elohim beside me. I girded thee, though thou hast not known me. So what does it tell you? It's telling you that there is no other Elohim. He himself says, there's no Elohim besides me. There's no one else. So how can you think of Yeshua Messiah as another Elohim? It's impossible. You're not being told the truth. The Bible clearly shows that there's only one Elohim, and his name is Father Yahweh. So, what's the meaning of John 1? John 1:1 is saying, in the beginning. John was referring to the beginning of creation, where Yahweh created everything by a spoken word, as seen in Genesis 1:1-2. Let's have a look, shall we? In the beginning, Yahweh created the heaven and the earth, as found in Genesis 1:1. Did you notice? Nowhere does it say that Yeshua Messiah created the heaven and earth. It says Yahweh created heaven and earth. Elohim Yahweh created heaven and earth. Yeshua Messiah was never there, nor was he part of this creation. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of Yahweh moved upon the face of the waters. Did you notice? There's no Yeshua Messiah. Father Yahweh is creating it. He's creating the earth. It was without a form, and he created it. It's a darkness, and his Holy Spirit was moving back and forth. There's no Yeshua Messiah in this creation. What we've been told in the Bible for many centuries is a lie from Satan, that he doesn't want you to know that Father Yahweh is the creator of everything, and Yeshua Messiah never pre-existed in heaven and never created the universe or heaven or earth. And Yahweh said, let there be light. And there was light, as found in Genesis 1:3. Notice, we read, Yahweh said. Yahweh spoke his word. Hence, John 1:1a, in the beginning was the Word. And Yahweh saw the light, that it was good. And Yahweh divided the light from darkness. Again, my dear friends, you see, Father Yahweh is separating light from darkness. Not Yeshua Messiah. Yeshua Messiah is not found anywhere. He's not part of this creation. In fact, he never pre-existed in heaven. He did not exist until he was born as a human being on this earth. That is the Bible-based truth. And Yahweh called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were in the first day. It's found in Genesis 1, verse 5. Please notice, Yahweh is by himself creating everything. Yahweh called the light day. He spoke. He called the light day. My dear friends, as we have seen, John 1 verse 1 was referring to the beginning of Yahweh's creation. So we put together everything we had learned today regarding John 1. John 1 from 1 to 3 should have read correctly in a following way. In the beginning was the Word with a lowercase w, and the Word was with Elohim. Again, the word lowercase, and the Word was Elohim. That's right. The Word is simply our Father, Yahweh. There's no Yeshua Messiah here. This was in the beginning with Elohim. Why? Because the Word is this. It's not a human being. It's personification. Father's spoken word or thought. So symbolically speaking, he was with Elohim at the beginning. All these things came into being through it. Not him, but it. And without it, not even one thing came into being that has come into being. In it was life, not in him. In it was life. And the life was the light of men. And the light shines in a darkness, and a darkness has not overcome it. My dear friends, as we conclude this evidence-based Bible discussion, Bible study, please remember, Yahweh, the one true Elohim, is the Creator alone, as seen in many scriptures like Isaiah 44, verse 24, Thus saith the Yahweh, the Redeemer, and He that formed thee from the womb. He says, I am the Yahweh that made all things. You see, Father himself says, I made all things. So how can any logical mind claim that Yeshua Messiah made things, where the Bible clearly says Yahweh Father made all things? That stretched forth the heavens alone, he says. Father says, I stretched the heavens alone by myself. So how can we claim in Proverbs it talks about Yeshua Messiah as the one who is the Creator? He never existed. That spread abroad the earth by myself, he says. Father says, I did all this by myself. So how do we have guts to tell us and others that it was Yeshua Messiah creating these things where the Bible teaches contrary to that? My dear friends, I would like to thank you for taking your precious time to listen to this vital Bible sermon. John 1, the truth hidden in a plain sight. Now you know what the truth is. This is Yahweh Kingdom Ministry. Please check out my YouTube channel for more videos at youtube.com at Yahweh Kingdom Ministry. And please email me at yahwehkingdomministry@gmail.com if you would like to have a free Bible study. Finally, please don't forget to like and subscribe so when I release these new videos, you'll get notified immediately and you can definitely benefit from it. Remember, my goal is to tell the truth, to teach you the truth, so you become Christian if you're not, and if you're a Christian, you stay Christian and you gain salvation. There's nothing better than having an immortal body and living on a paradise earth with our Father Yahweh's blessings forever. May Father Yahweh continue blessing you as you learn the truth and continue on your road to life. Thank you.